Hi, this is Svox of Endphase, and currently we're going to be doing a deck tech. We're going to be doing mine today. This is a Madolche build. I call it Plushy People, so let's just delve right into this. First off, we start out with 3 Madolche Mageline. This is going to be our fetch card of this deck. It's going to contain the same effect that every Madolche monster is going to have, which is when this card in your possession is destroyed, either by battle or card effect, and sent to the graveyard, it's immediately shuffled back in your deck by force. And it's a bit weird, but it's the inherent effect that we learn to love with them. But this one, when normal summoned, lets you search your deck for one Madolche monster and add it to your hand. So that's going to be your search card. Up next, I'm going to have 2 Madolche Hootcakes. This is going to be your toolbox card. Basically, you can exile 1 card, but it has to be a creature, from your graveyard, to special summon 1 Madolche monster from your deck to the field. It adds a lot of flexibility to the deck. This is a relatively older build, but the only new update is going to be really this card. It hadn't made much room for improvements, but it works nonetheless. Up next, we're going to have 2 Madolche Croissants. This one has a slightly different effect. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up Madolche card you control, except this card, and return it to your hand, and if you do, increase this card's level and attack. Level by 1, attack by 300. Next, we're going to have 1 copy of Madolche Messengelado. He's going to let you add 1 Madolche spell or trap card from the deck to your hand, as long as you control a face-up beast-type monster when he's been special summoned, in order to resolve the effect. And we're going to have 1 of a Butterrusk. It's when he's normal summoned and you control another Madolche monster, you can search your deck for a field spell. Namely, it's going to be your Madolche Chateau, but you can always search for anything else. Next is going to be 1 of Madolche Chavalar. He is going to have the effect of, as long as he is on the field and face up, your opponent cannot select other Madolche monsters for attack targets, except for him by name. We're going to have 2 of Madolche Mufali. When he is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 Madolche monster from your hand. Next is going to be a Madolche Bopple. This one is a bit wordy for the text, but you can target 1 face-up attack position Madolche monster you control, and 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls. If both are still face-up on the field, change them to face-up defense position. And if you do, basically they are locked down for the turn and they can't change battle positions until your opponent's next turn. Yep, and we're going to have 2 Madolche Marmalades. This one is when this card is flipped face up, you can add 1 Madolche spell or trap in your graveyard to your hand. And last up for the monsters, we're going to have our boss monster, Madolche Puddingsus. This one is while your graveyard is clear of monsters, her attack and defense will go up by 800. And as a special bonus, after damage calculation, when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can target 1 card they control and destroy it. That's going to clear it for monsters. So up next, we're going to have spells, and what better to start out with their field spell, Madolche Chateau. This one is when activated, shuffle all Madolche monsters in your graveyard at the time into the deck, and all Madolche monsters on the field gain 500 in attack and defense. And if any Madolche monster in your graveyard would be returned to the deck by the effect of a Madolche monster, not just their own, you may return it to your hand instead. We're going to have 1 of Terraforming to search out said Madolche Chateau. 2 Pile Dualities. This deck build runs 2 Madolche Tickets, which is when a Madolche card or cards are returned from your side of the field or graveyard to your hand or main deck by a card effect, you can add 1 Madolche monster from your deck to your hand, and if you so happen to have a face-up fairy-type Madolche monsters at that time, you can instead special summon that monster to your field, and this effect can only be used once per turn. Last up for spells is we're going to have Forbidden Lance. which lets you select one face-up monster on the field. Until the end phase, it loses 800 attack, but is unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. So some nice stun elements for the deck, since they're going to be relatively low in attack unless your field spell is permanently present. Up next is traps with 3 Fiendish Chain, which lets you target one face-up effect monster on the field. That target's effects are negated. Also, that target cannot attack, and when that target is destroyed, so is this card. So it's a nice lockdown to prevent some effects you don't want going off. We have another safety card is Safe Zone, which is a 2-of. A 2-of Mirror Force. A 2-of Madolche Lessons, which is you can target one Madolche monster in your graveyard, and for resolution, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, all Madolche monsters that you currently control gain 800 attack and defense. Then you can shuffle one more monster of any kind, doesn't have to be Madolche this time, from your graveyard back into the deck. It's great for during battle phase, like if a monster would be currently destroyed by a battle, on proc of their own effect to be sent back in the deck, you can just activate this in chain. It's targeting that said monster just to put it back for this card's effect, and give them an 800 boost for surprise. We have 1 Solemn Judgment, 1 Solemn Warning, a Madolche Tea Break, and a Madolche Knights. And for both of these later 2 traps, I personally think they're really underrated. I mean, there's not much appreciation put into them, but when put in the right build, they're actually pretty strong. I mean, they don't full out negate and destroy the trap cards. Instead, they pretty much either just negate and leave, or negate and put it back in your opponent's hand. But with putting this on the field, it really helps to lose that advantage that your opponent would otherwise have. For Tea Break, it allows you to destroy one card they control, and Madolche Knights lets you shuffle a random card from their hand into the deck. All in all, this is my build of Plushy people. We do have an extra deck, but it's not as big as most people's. I relatively don't max out my extra deck so much, but we do have 3 Fairy King Alverdiques, which helps put Madolche monsters into the graveyard to help our boss, one of our later monsters out, Madolche Queen Tiramisu. And in the meantime, since everything in the deck is Earth, it's going to help reduce more likely your opponent's monsters by 500 attack and defense by detaching 1 Ixie from it. We have 1 number 16 Shockmaster, and 2 of our Queen's Tiramisu, 1 Leviathan Dragon, and 1 Soul of the Silver Mountain. That's pretty much going to be our build, and this has been Svox Divine, signing out.